All right, welcome back. Does NAFDAC has any role in this matter?
Of
We're talking
course.
about
NAFDAC does. I think to a large extent, NAFDAC they are trying their best because as a doctor, I'm aware that even before any product comes in to the country and all that, you have to be fully certified by NAFDAC. There's a lot of rigorous processes that goes, that are involved in bringing product or even selling this product. But once the products have come in and NAFDAC have certified that, okay, this product can be used in the environment, the problem is that what now happens. Yeah. So that begs the question about what our other agencies or institutions like the Pharmacy Council are doing. Because NAFDAC alone can't just do everything.
yeah.
NAFDAC has its role to make sure that drugs and food coming to this country are good for the population. But how are these drugs now getting to the last bar? That is a
Without
problem.
being adulterated and all that, yes.
That is a problem because I'll just give you an example. We all know that if you go to a retail pharmaceutical store on the road, right? Some of them, there's a high chance that when you ask for some drugs, they will ask you who prescribed it. Some
Some do.
But
some may not ask at all.
Yes, you may not ask, but at least one or two might ask, right? But go to the hub of these drugs, which is Idumota.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you have the money, you can buy anything. Anything. Nobody asks you, where are you from? Nobody asks you. You can buy a carton of morphine. You can buy a carton of opioid. Nobody's asking you, which hospital do you work?
What are you going to use it for?
You just bring the money and they give to you. Not only that, all pharmaceutical companies, both multinational, foreign, local, all right, go to that Idumota and give these same people their drugs to sell because they have the money. Look at where even these drugs are even stored or kept or even sold. It's not even, it's not even standard. Yes, it's not even a standard. If you really want to talk about, say, okay, follow the standard procedure of maybe storing drugs and then it's not. And look at even the people that handle the drugs. Zero education.
Exactly.
Zero education. So NAFDAC is not enough. So you want to call other, councils, medical councils and all that. What are they doing? All right. Have we come to the point whereby once you have money, all right, then you could almost influence even the healthcare sector. So that is a challenge, man.
It is really an issue. Our government will have a lot of things to do because checking this set is important. Even when it's also clearly written, like for alcohol now, say, drink responsibly. Who would they think of that one? In the cigarette, they say, cigarette kills, so be careful. Yeah, people still go and buy.
Yeah, fine.
So even if you ask these pharmacists too, they may tell you, I didn't ask the person come to buy. So now you come, so I said to them. But we have to be very careful, especially the users. We have to be very, very careful to make sure that nothing passes through this our mouth without being prescribed. It's for your own good. That's why in the introduction we say run away from every form of danger. It's dangerous, and the ultimate is death. What will it profit if you not kill yourself on time? So we have to really be very, very careful. That takes me to another question. So how do we safeguard our drugs from counterfeit?
Okay. For you to be sure that the medications that you have is the authentic one, you have to follow through the process of the right process of getting the medication in the first place. That is the only valid way. Now, counterfeit medication is a problem for the healthcare sector, even in Nigeria, because it's one of the avenue or ways we lose a lot of money in this country. And of course, the danger of ill health to the population is also a concern. But for you to really want to say, okay, you want to handle your medication, make sure that you're only taking authentic medication. First of all, go to the hospital. That is the truth. There's a high chance that most of the times when people buy drugs, there's a chance that you may not even need to even buy that drug. So when you don't even buy the drugs, you won't even think about counterfeit in the first place. So you go to the hospital, and if a doctor prescribes a drug for you, most likely the hospital would have dispensed it there. All right? Okay? And if they don't dispense it, many times hospitals can refer you to a pharmacy to get the drug.
That's true.
All right. So if you are being referred by the hospital, or your hospital don't have it, and you ask your doctor, where can I get this drug? You say, get it one or two places, these places. Then you could most likely have reduced your exposure of, getting a counterfeit medication.
Yeah.
Of course, then if you are one of those that you think that you are already you are medically inclined, then you must self-medicate, which is very wrong. All right. You want to make sure that where you buy your drugs are registered premises. All right. And it's very simple, easy to do. When you walk into a registered premise, you're going to see the license of that premise there.
Displayed.
Yes. You'll see it there. And you can even, as a human being, you're right to ask, who is the pharmacy superintendent here? They're always in charge. Yeah. And then you can ask, this is your medication. How am I sure it's your authentic one? They are going to show you. There are many ways to know. There are usually some barcodes and all that stuff that you could maybe put into your phone, and it's going to give you some results to tell you that these drugs are, authentic and all that. So if you do one of these things, I think you should be okay.
Okay, lastly from me, what are the real dangers of taking drugs without doctor's prescription?
Okay. When you were talking, you mentioned something, you use agbo as one of the stuff.
Example, yes.
Yeah. When medical practitioners or healthcare practitioners or managers tell people, don't use agbo, the traditional people look at it like an enemy is coming to spoil their business. All right. But it's not true. Now, most of the medications we even use, most of these orthodox medications, the medications are as a result of research done on traditional medicines. All right. So even this agbo and all those stuff that you see, that was how almost all medications started. And then people begin to see how they can now put it in a proper form and use. So the problem with even that agbo, all right, is the issue of dosage. That is the main problem of that agbo. First problem is dosage. All right, because the people that make it are never consistent. You can't tell, okay, how many of this particular substance is constituted into making this agbo. You can't tell. So because you can't tell, if you take 5 ml of the agbo today, all right, the component of that 5 ml most likely will be different if you take another 5 ml next week. So you'll be running into a challenge of either you are overdosing or underdosing. So which is the first problem of taking any medication without prescription?
Doctor, you're even mentioning meal. In there, they just say a cup, just half a cup.
Yes.
And the cup have various sizes. Is it also? You don't know the particular one that you want to use. Just have glass.
Yes.
Glass could be big, glass could be small. So I agree with you that the main problem is actually dosage.
That is the first problem. And usually what we see on the long run is that because you are taking, and of course, most of the times you are actually overdosed because they put a lot of stuff and make it concentrated, and then you feel a lot of stuff when you take it. So the end result is that you're going to have issues with some of your organs that actually process this stuff, like your kidney. So we see many people that take all this agbo for a long time end up having kidney failures.
Yes.
All right. So the problem is the dose. Even you taking any other orthodox medication without prescription, you are at risk of the
it's a slow killer.
Yes.
Since a slow killer.
Of taking drug, either overdose or underdose.
Building up,
right? That's the first issue. Then the second issue is that you are taking substance that you are not familiar with. You don't know the component of that substance and the effect. Like I say, all drugs, whether it's medication or substance, have the chance of affecting you physiologically. Physiological means that the way you perform generally, so it can affect you. Whether even that agbo that we talk about, you can't tell. Some people, in fact, 10 people doing the same agbo for malaria use different things. Yes. Some we add extra stuff to make their own like extra this. Yes, and some of those things can be very, very dangerous. All right, and it's the same thing when you go about picking drug even from a pharmacy. You don't know what is in that stuff, and then how it's going to affect you. So that is the first risk of taking drugs that are not prescribed. The second risk of taking drugs that are not prescribed is the end result of organ damage. All right. Some people can come with even heart diseases, can come with
liver,
liver,
kidney, just name
and
them.
all that. And you don't want to, get to that point whereby just preventing yourself from this exposure could be all that is needed. And then you now run into a situation whereby you now have a long, lifelong disease. Then another issue with it is that you could die. That is the truth. You could die. One thing people don't understand is that even if a doctor had prescribed a medication for you and you tried it, it worked, doesn't mean that you should go and start using it.
Each time you have same ailment. I
Yes.
wanted to say, because that's the problem some of us really have. You sick malaria this period, they use a particular medicine to cure you. Then after 3 months, had malaria, say, I know now. If I go out and the same Leonard you'll give me, you should just go and buy Leonard by yourself. It may not work.
Yes.
It may not.
Yeah, I'll come to what
Yes.
she just said now. You could die. Straight up. We heard of what happened to Mike Jackson and a lot of other people. Initially, you use maybe a barbiturate or opioid, you give and it feels good. And these people just go back. Most people that even use tramadol, they will say trauma. Maybe one time they give them the tramadol for pain and it feels good. And they go and take that. And when you take that stuff and because if you take some of this substance initially, all right, because of the addictive effect, you're going to need a higher dose subsequently to have the same feeling. All right, so you keep increasing the dose until you could get to the point that you're completely overdosed and your system just can't take it. And then you just die. So you could die. Another issue, like what Mama just said, is that you could now develop an illness that you just can't treat anymore because you've abused this drug. It's to a point whereby almost all the organisms around you or within you are now resistant to the drugs.
Exactly.
So when you really now need that drug,
it will
not work anymore. So you don't have drug resistance, and that can be very, very deadly for you. So those are some of the challenges of taking drug without prescription.
We have just mentioned a lot of things. Actually, taking drug without prescription have caused to so many people. If you have not experienced it as a person, you must have seen or heard about it. Those who take drugs anyhow and what is also the effect they have. So you run away from every risk and danger. If you are sick, please go to the right place. Go to the hospital. Yes, money will come. Go to the hospital. If there any care center around you, do so. You see going to the hospital. That's why I say government should come in now to ensure there are a lot of health care centers around so that people can easily go to assess a treatment and all that. So this is the essence of treating this. Please help yourself. We'll take a break now. I won't come back. We'll enter question and answer session. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
This is Vivid View.